Okay, this thing is still delivering and delivering large, and there is a new update. I won't be covering it today, coming from IK Multimedia for it, that makes it even easier to edit in real time. Now, I am delighted with the feedback I got from the last release of presets I put out for getting Brian May from Queen's Tone, and a lot of people who actually wanted to use them on stage. Now, when I create those presets, I create them in the apartment. I don't usually create them in a rehearsal studio because, you know, it's more for mass consumption. So what I've done since, I've created some that are a little bit more suited for live use. So in other words, if you get one of those sounds and if you make it really loud, and anyone that does anything digital has probably seen this, you'll find that the bass becomes a little bit more accentuated and muddy, and the top end becomes a lot more shrill because the upper mids and the 3 to 5k band and the EQ curve just appear more exaggerated to us. So when you make music louder, it doesn't go louder evenly. So to counter that, I've created more presets, and I've also found a model that I made when I was in the studio capturing Vox AC30 in the Brian May style, and I had completely forgotten about it personally. And when I had originally done that project, I was focused on the really old 1971 AC30 that we had in the room, which is what I use all the time. And what we had also done is we had got Vox AC30 CC2X, which is a more recent variety, and because it was newer and in better condition, we could spend more time with it. Now, the older model that is the basis of all my presets thus far, it didn't last into the second day of the project. It was under pressure because we were running it flat out over 2 days, and it started to smell a bit burny into the second day. But the CC2X, again, more up-to-date model, perhaps better conditioned because it was a more recently working amp. We could spend more time. And what we did was we were able to capture it after the power amp. So in other words, this is a capture that doesn't include the speaker. So you can use your own IORs or the VIORs that come with the IK Multimedia pedals and plug-in and app. And what I can say is that it's actually really, really good. It has a lot more controllability because it's again something that you can change the speaker with, but it also had the opportunity for us, I suppose, to do some captures that had a treble booster inline. So just to remind people, I always prefer to use a real treble booster with these captures, but that's not practical for everybody, and some people just want to have a sound that they can use a la carte. And what we found the last time when I was going through those presets is that having the inline treble booster is quite good. It actually works quite well. It works a bit differently. It's not something I prefer, but it's actually really, really usable. So when we did this capture, we used a couple of treble boosters, two of which I was able to find in my flat today. One is this fella. This is a BC149 treble booster, which is the transistor and schematic that Brian used in most of the stuff that you've heard him play on. And I also had a Friar, which I can't find today, but it was definitely used. And then this fella here, which is called a Q2 treble booster, or Queen 2 treble booster. And this one's made by Lee Spate, and this is a bit of an esoteric one, because what happened was after Brian May learned from Rory Gallagher, famed Irish guitarist, how to get his sound, which is basically, you know, treble boosters squashing the life out of an overdriven Vox AC30. He got the same rig, and somewhere on tour in the world, Rody lost his Rangemaster treble booster. Now those things are quite rare today. They were even rare back then, and that caused a conundrum. And there's a bit of mythology, and we're not entirely sure who made it, but somebody made Brian a treble booster that had a different chipset in it. I'm not qualified to discuss the differences, but it does sound quite different, and that's what the Q2 treble booster is. And it's called Q2 because the Queen 2 album apparently had the benefit of this treble booster for a lot of it until a little later on that year, I think. Pete Cornish invented this one for him, the BC149. So basically, I've got pretty much every year of Queen's recorded output in treble boosters covered with that particular capture. So there's 37 presets in this. I'm not going to cover them all, but what I've done is I spent last Sunday basically covering a couple of Queen tunes to give you sort of an idea of how they do and how they sound, recorded with different guitars and different songs and all that. I make full use of the effects and the EQ and the compression, and I spent a lot of time with them. Some of them will sound a bit dull if you're playing them at home values. Those are the ones that are designed to be used on stage. And I did go back to the Deacy sounds and created a suite of sounds there as well that you can use for more modern uses of the Deacy, like Bijou from the Innuendo album, and You Don't Fool Me, which I've covered in the video as well. So this is all pretty good stuff. I hope you enjoy it, and just to remind people that by supporting me, by buying these, you support me making more of them. So I have big plans to try and do more work with the Deacy amp and do a proper full release in that in the near future, and to do more captures with some different Vox AC30s, just so there's a full palette of stuff there. And it's always been worthwhile work, because it's actually more than 2 years since I started this with ToneX, and it's still my life sound, and it still sounds great. So, the more we do, the more options we have, the better it is for everyone, and that's that. Buy my stuff. Okay, have a listen to these tracks. Let me know what you think in the comments, or send me an email, and I'll see you in the next video.